Good day and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. I am Arcaida Agastiani from Bachelor of Science Secondary Education, Major Filipino 3A. And we are assigned to discuss the chapter 4, which is the evaluating the curriculum. So my topic is all about the continuation of types of test measures, knowledge, process, and understanding. So, eto na siya yung kung ano ba ang mga types of test or examination na pwedeng gawin mo sa mga learners. Pwedeng gawin ng teacher sa test takers.
The previous reporter discussed the objective test, pencil and paper test, simple recall, alternative response test, multiple choice, and magic type of test. So, we are now going to continue or proceed to the another types of test to measure knowledge, process, and understanding of the test takers. So, the perfect matching type of test. So, itong perfect matching type, ito siya is may kaibahan siya sa matching type na type of test. So, kasi yung matching type lang siya na sinasabi is parang pantay yung column A and then column B. Well, itong perfect matching type, ito na siya yung the number of premises in column A is less than the number of response in the column B. The response can only be used as one. So, for example, in the column A are popular description of president during their terms of office. So, match them with the names of Philippines president in column B. So, for example na lang yung sa column A. So, sa column A, meron siyang three categories lang. Well, sa column B niya naman is meron siyang apat na description or meron siyang apat na name of president sa kung ano yung contribute nila sa ating bansa. To make it short, sa perfect matching type of test, mas marami yung column B kesa column A. Parang yung kung ano yung description mo sa column A is mas marami yung definition niya sa column B. Na pero isang beses mo lang magagamit yung words na yun or yung definition or salitang hinahanap mo. Na rin sa column A. So, hahanapin mo yung si Ramon Magsaysay sa column B. Pero isa lang yung answer niya dun. Nasa column B na yun, si Ramon Magsaysay, isa lang ang description niya sa column B, pero marami kang pagpipilian dun sa column B. Next is the imperfect matching type. The number of premises in column A is not equal to the number of response in the column B, or the other way around. So, the response or the premise can be used more than once. So, ito naman siyang imperfect matching type. Kabaliktaran naman siya ng perfect matching type. Kasi kung sa perfect matching type, mas marami yung A, mas marami yung column B sa A. Ito namang imperfect matching type, mas marami naman yung nasa column B, which is yung words na nasa column A, pwede mo siyang gamitin ng dalawang beses, depende kung yung nasa column B is meron pa siyang same din ng definition ng isang word sa column A. Kunwari yung example dito na in a column A are the number of well-known curriculum evaluators. Match them with the evaluation models they have been identified with the column B. You can use the letter ones or more than one. So, sa column A, sa binigay na example, like for example, yung consumer-oriental model. So, sa consumer-oriental model, sa column A, pwede mo siyang hanapin sa column B, which is sa column B na yun, kunwari sa choices na Michael Scriven, Daniel Scott Plebim, Robert State, and Ralph Tyler. So, sa column B na yun, yung apat na pangalan yun, pwede mo siyang makadalawang magamit, depende kung ang definition niya is meron siya sa column sa column A. So, dito siya, mas marami yung column A kaysa column B.
Next one is the subjective test. Learning outcomes will indicate learners' ability to originate and express ideas is difficult to test through objective type of test. Hence, in subjective types of tests, answer through reflection, insights, and opinion can be given through essay. So, itong subjective test, ginawa siya para ma-express ng test takers or learners yung ability nila when it comes to giving ideas, opinion, or reflecting the topic. So, kasi sinabi dito na mahirap magawa ng magsagot ng isang test kung objective type siya. So, di ba nga based in our experience is mas marami tayong idea pag essay type siya or pag opinion mo siya na kung anong insight lang ang alam mo, hindi siya objective. So, this subjective types of test, nakabase lang siya sa ideas, opinion, and insight of the learners. So, next one is the essay test. Item allows student to freedom to respond. Students are free to select, relate, and present ideas of their own words. So, the type of answer would reflect the extent of learners' knowledge of subject matters, ability to use higher order thinking skills, and express ideas in accurate, creative, and appropriate language. So, etong essay type of test, ito yung usually na ginagamit ng mga teacher sa ating test kung paano natin may pahayag or may share yung ating idea. So, ito siya, nagbibigay siya ng freedom sa student na i-express natin yung idea or insight na meron tayo. So, which is related lang siya sa topic na sinasabi. So, dito siya, parang mas pinapalawak ng isang learners ang idea nila sa isang topic na binigay. So, let's just say, and this new curriculum, so sa K-12. So, nagbigay ang isang teacher ng topic about K-12. So, ang essay, isulat mo kung ano yung isulat ng learners kung ano yung idea niya sa K-12 curriculum. So, yun yung main idea ng essay na yun. So, magbibigay siya ng insight or opinion sa isang bagay na related sa topic. Next one is the restricted response item. So, this is an expanded form of short answer type of objective test. There is a limit on both content scope and form of student response. It is most useful in measuring learning short outcomes that requires interpretation and application of data in a specific area. So, from the word restricted, so, limitado lang yung idea or yung sagot na kailangang isagot ng student. So, let's say, sa isang data, kung ano yung outcome ng isang ginawa nyong survey, yun lang yung sagot nyo. Like, for example, sa binigay dito, what are the main body parts of plant? Describe each part. So, dito pa lang, alam na natin na limit lang ang binibigay na ang kailangan na sagot dito. So, what are the main body parts of the plant? So, yung kunwari sa plant. So, ibigay mo yung part ng mga plants and then, bigyan mo siya ng specific na description. So, specific lang ibibigay mo na description. Hindi mo na kailangang palawakin or pahabain pa yung explanation mo. So, same with the number 2 example na why is the barometer of the most useful instrument to forecast the weather? Explain in one paragraph. So, one paragraph lang ang kailangan na sagot ng isang estudyante kasi yun lang yung limit or measure ng sagot na kailangan. So, from the word restricted response item. So, next one is the extended response item. So, etong expanded response item na naman, ito siya is kabaliktaran naman siya ng restricted response items. The student is generally free to select any factual information that can help in organizing response. The contents of an extended essay will depend on the analysis, synthesis, evaluation, and other higher order thinking skills of the test takers. So, for example, evaluate the significance of the result of national referendum of Scotland to the global peace condition. So, number 2, what can you say about NATO's position on the ISIS? So, gaya na lang ng example na expanded siya na respond to the item kasi nga hindi gaya na restricted na limited lang kunwari specific or limited lang yung kailangan na sagot. Dito naman siya is mas wide yung kailangan na sagot dito kasi nga para magbibigay ka pa magkakandak ka pa ng analysis, synthesis, evaluation, and other higher thinking skills of the test taker. So, kunwari sa isang survey na ginawa mo, so magkakaroon ka pa ng daming methods, strategies, or any other technique para mas maging broad pa yung explanation mo sa isang topic. Let's say etong what can you say about NATO's position on the ISIS? So yung gagawa ka ng survey, research about sa NATO's, and then yung idea mo dito is mas malawak pa, mas bibigyan mo pa siya ng maraming basis and example, data na makaka-prove ng sagot mo. So, let's proceed to the assessment tools to measure authentic learning performance and products. Level 4 of the learning outcomes in KPUP can be assessed through performance or product. These learning outcomes can be best be done through the use of authentic evaluation. So, parang totoo talaga siya or real life talaga yung evaluation na ginagamit dito. So, authentic evaluation is the test that measure the real life task, performance task, and actual procedures. So, the most common of the authentic assessment are the performance assessment and the use of portfolio. So, this level of measuring or assessing measuring tools to assess the knowledge, power, and understanding of the learners is based on the real life task. So more on ginagawa siya through the survey, like gagawa ka ng checklist. So yun yung sinasabi na authentic assessment. So let's proceed to the another example or tools, performance tools in these types of measuring tools. So performance assessment tools. Checklist is a tool that consists of a list of qualities that are expected to be observed as present or absent. The presence is to be marked as checked, while the absence is marked as X. So, in our previous activity, we conduct a survey. So, sa survey na yun, kung nakikita nyo, meron siyang checklist na kung saan i-check or babasahin muna ng isang teacher, and then i-check nila kung yung statement ba yun is appropriate sa kanya. So, ito yung purpose ng checklist. So, like for example, checklist on the use of microscope, and then instruction, observe the student in the laboratory activities with the use of microscope. Check the item which you have seen and which are done appropriately, and mark X items which are not appropriately done. So, since these authentic learning performance and products, nakabase lang siya sa real life task. So, basically, ginagawa ito through actual. So, as for example, itong about siya sa microscope. So, kung i-check ng student ang checklist niya kung ang item is nakita or na-seen. So, opposite naman siya sa X kung hindi nakita ang item na yun. So, bakit siya sinabi na real life task? Kasi kinailangan siya ng microscope. Kung kinailangan siya ng microscope para mapatunayan or ma-prove yung checklist is tama. So, gaya na lamang na binigay na 1 to 10 items. So, kung tama ang sagot, i-check, and then kung mali naman is i-X. So, in addition for that, itong checklist is usually or commonly ginagamit siya sa mga research or survey form. So, gaya ng ginawa natin na gumawa tayo ng survey form sa mga teacher, which is meron siyang checklist. So, next is the rating scale. Rating scale, it is a tool that uses a scale in a number line as a basis to estimate the numerical value of the performance or a product. The value is easier to score if the points are in whole numbers. The most popular rating scale is called Likert scale. So, for example, rating scale for science project. So, the instruction is on a scale of 1 to 10 with 1 as the lowest and 10 as the highest score. Rate the product on the projects on the following elements. Circle the choice of your answer. So, itong rating scale is common din masyado na ginagamit ng teacher sa students. So, ito siya, 1 is the lowest, parang 1 is the lowest score, and then 10 is the highest score. Itong rating scale is usually rin ginagamit siya ng mga teacher sa pag-rate ng let's say the role play. So, same din siya same din ng process. 1 is the lowest and 10 is the highest. So, pag nasa middle lang, average lang yung score mo, is magkakaroon ka ng 5 or 6 na score. So, another example of that is have a clear purpose. So this type of example, nagbe-base lang siya kung ano yung actual na result ng isang estudyante. So, kung ano yung actual or outcomes ng performance ng isang estudyante, doon siya i-rate ng teacher. So, kunwari, have a clear purpose. So, kung clear talaga yung ginawa niyang idea or purpose, magre-rate siya ng 10. So, same with the use local materials. So, magre-rate din siya ng 1 to 10. Next one is the rubric for portfolio. A portfolio is a compilation of the experience as authentic learning outcomes presented with evidence and reflection. So, to assess the total learning experience as presented in a holistic package, an assessment tool called Rubrics is utilizes. So, itong Rubrics for portfolio, ito na yung meron siyang basis. Nagkakaroon siya ng basis to rate that performance. So nagbe-base rin siya sa data presented, and then the data gathered, and then the reflection that the learners given in that specific topic. So this portfolio or rubrics for portfolio, it is assessment guidance for a student and faculty to assess the criteria in these rubrics are designed to evaluate whether a portfolio provides a clear evidence that a student who is requesting credits has mastered course learning outcomes and competencies. So dito sa rubrics na to, meron siyang criteria. Usually ginagamitan siya ng percentage para i-rate yung performance task ng student. So let's say for the example, merong criteria. Sa criteria, merong content of portfolio, objective of portfolio, quality of entries, presentation of entries, and the promptness. So in the column 1, andun na meron siyang less than 40% needed entries, and then column 2, less than 59 of needed entries. Column 3 has 60 to 74% of needed content, and then 4 for 75 to 89 of needed content, and the last one is number 5, has 90 to 100 needed entries. So each column of that is meron siyang purposes. Dito na nagbe-base yung teacher sa outcomes ng ginawa niya. Kung ang student is nagbigay siya ng relevant and specific and then exact evidence sa topic na ginawa niya, or sa kunwari sa isang survey na ginawa niya. So lastly, as you can observe in the promptness, so mas mataas ang rate ng submitted ahead of schedule. So bakit siya 100%? So 100% ang score niya sa rubrics kasi na-pass niya yung that survey or specific topic ahead of time. So compare with the number 1 na submitted after 30 days after the deadline. So nasa poorest part masyado siya kasi parang lampas na siya sa deadline. So itong rubrics na to, ito na siya yung base or binabasehan ng teacher sa isang performance or survey research ng estudyante. So that could be all, and then I hope you learn and gain knowledge about my topic. So if you have some clarification and question, you can always ask me or PM me about my topic. So again, I am Arkaida Abasgiani from BSED Filipino 3A. Thank you and wassalam.